The preparations for the 2021 Roebuck hunt was in many ways similar to previous years. A lot of putting up high seats, a lot of scouting the area, a lot of putting up trail cameras, trying to figure out which bucks you had. All in preparation for that one big day, May 16th, when the Roebuck hunt opens in Denmark. But this year things were different, because we had just gotten a dog. So I decided to spend the first week of the hunt getting to know her, and she could get to know me. But when that day came, and it was my time to go hunting, I was ready. I was a little bit cold and a little bit sleepy, but all of a sudden I woke up, because there he was, the buck that I had seen a couple of times on the trail cameras, alive and well in the morning sun. One thing, however, that was completely out of my control was the wind, and he was directly downwind, so obviously it was just a matter of time before he got my scent and took off. Knowing that I had lost the first round, I decided to spend the rest of the morning in this tree stand in the company of two lovely young ladies. No bucks. But it didn't matter, I had a plan for the evening. I'm working my way over to my stand, which is over here. This is the field where I saw him this morning. I was sitting up there and he was down there. And then he went that way. The wind is going like this in an ideal situation. So my plan is to go to my seat, have him come as he did this morning. If he does, I should be fine. If he comes along this tree line, he's going to smell me. But it's my best play, so we'll see. I climb in my stand, looking basically in the opposite direction than what I did in the morning. And it's not long till I see movement in exactly the same spot as I had done in the morning. The buck is coming closer and closer, but when he's at 37 meters, he decides to make a bed for the evening and beds down. He even has his back turned and is behind a tree. That's not the kind of shot that you take. The sun is setting and I have no choice. I decide to climb down, maybe I can just make a quick stalk. But even before I hit the ground, he sees something and he takes off. The following morning I'm back in the tree where I was the first morning, and history repeats itself. Just like clockwork, he shows up. The wind is very different today and he never smells me. But apparently he has a different plan. So, instead of dying, he decides to go the opposite direction into safety. But I have a plan of my own. In the afternoon I put up a new tree stand in the area where he likes to be. I give the area some peace and quiet that evening and the following morning, but the following evening I'm back with great expectations. But expectations are all I get. It's cold, it's windy, and I cannot wait to get home. And as the sun is about to set, I pack up my cameras and prepare to go home. But then, all of a sudden, there he is. He's close, and there's no time to pack out the real cameras, so this is filled with my Tactacam. Not suitable for low light conditions. He walks right underneath my tree stand. But as he comes out, I prepare for a shot. So I just waited half an hour. It's not the best blood in the world, but there's blood on it. It doesn't smell like guts. I think maybe I hit him a little bit forward. Gonna look for blood, not take any chances. Well, as you can imagine, I pretty much feel like shit. I don't think I rushed the shot. It was a steep shot, but still, I could have hit a branch, but I don't see that. I followed him running quite a bit. Then I heard crashing, but that could just be him going through the brush. So, we're gonna go have a look at the arrow again. Let the dog follow the trail. See where it leads. But I feel so miserable. The dog picks up the track no problem, but we only find small specks of blood. No buck. Not because of the dog, but because I made a terrible shot. I slept terribly that evening and I didn't go hunting the following morning. But when I woke up, there was a fresh picture on my trail cam from the tree just where I'd shot him, and he was still alive. But I just saw the buck. Jesus Christ. That is him. Alive and well. That is my buck. He's alive and he's well. He's sitting right underneath my tree stand, between the two rocks, exactly where I saw him that evening where I could shoot him. He's young, and that's my buck, and he's still alive. I'm just so happy to see him again. And I'm very sure that is him. He's bedded in exactly the same spot. It's difficult to see on the video, but he has these very white tips, and I constantly have doubts whether or not he has these points going backwards, but he does, as far as I can see, as did the other one. They're not very big. He's not a big buck, but he's my buck, and he's the buck I took a shot at and wounded. And here he is again. So how often do you get a second chance? I am extremely relieved to find him alive and well. I take a few days away from hunting, both to give him some peace, but also to think. I watch and I relive that shot again and again, and in the end I conclude two things. One, I should have waited. The shot was too steep and if I only had given him a few more meters, it would have been a lot easier shot. And 2, there was a branch in the way, which possibly I hit. So I decide to go after him again, but this time I will not take any chances. A few days later I'm back in my tree stand, and there he is, coming right down towards me. But instead of coming all the way, he suddenly decides to chase off a roe, and I never see him again that evening. It's early morning, and I've been hunting this buck for more than a month now, and there he is, just coming down towards me like nothing had happened. He's coming and he's coming and he's coming, but then he beds down. He even has the back turned to me. It's almost like he's saying, "You can try all you want, you will never get me." He finally gets up, only to lay back down, where he stays for the next 30 minutes. So it's been an hour. I was sitting up here in the tree stand, he was down there, and then he ran this way behind these 2 white trees. So I'm just gonna see if I find it, but he took the arrow with him, so there's no arrow to look at. So I'm gonna see if I find any blood, look at what kind of blood and the amount of blood. And again, I'm not gonna take any chances. I saw him run into this thick stuff over here, but I mean, he could just be lying there if he's just wounded. So as always, I'm going to take it easy. If I have any doubts, I'm going to bring in a dog. So, fingers crossed, here we go. Basically, you have 2 kinds of blood tracks. The ones I had with my first shot was the one where you find some blood in the beginning, and then it becomes less and less. This is a different kind, and this is the one you want. A little bit of blood in the beginning that then becomes more and more. This is looking a little bit better. This is quite bright blood. So I'm in this thick stuff and I just found the arrow. It's pretty bright blood, looks good. This is the end that was all the way through and the arrow was sticking out. So I shot him on the left side, it was sticking out on the right side. Still a fair amount of blood going that way. It's really thick in here, but I don't blame him. I see more and more blood, but I have to put the camera away. And after about 100 meters, there he is. Boys and girls, I give you my 2021 bow roebuck, the buck I have been after the entire season. We just found him. He was maybe 100 meters further from where I left the track. He was still alive, so we stabbed him. The entry wound was way too far in the front, the exit, hopefully, well, thankfully a little further back. So there was some lung, I guess. I don't see any marks from the first shot I put on this buck. So maybe we'll see when I get the skin off him, but as of now, nothing. He is a gorgeous buck. I am so extremely happy. He is symmetric, he's high, he's white, he's thick, he's everything you want in a buck, and I managed to take him with the bow. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And usually I'm not such a bad shot, such an idiot. So if you don't mind, click subscribe and follow me for more interesting hunting in the time to come. Now I'm gonna gut him, skin him, have a look, and eat every ounce. Thank you so much. As I skinned the buck, I saw no evidence of the first shot, only the marks the arrow and the knife had made today. But when I got home and looked at the meat, I found a small piece of wood in the right front leg.